Alright, so in this second of 3 tutorials we're going to be looking at extrinsic feedback. The first tutorial has looked at intrinsic feedback already, so you want to go back and check that one out before you move on perhaps. So we're looking at extrinsic feedback, so let's see what that means exactly. And you can see here we've talked about feedback being information about performance. Now extrinsic feedback is any information about the performer or the performance that comes from outside of the performer themselves. If we look at some examples, there could be many different examples of where the information comes from. I've just chosen 3 or 4. Let's look at the coach first of all, because the coach is often the person who gives the most feedback about performance, and in this case you can see that it's the cricket coach is giving information, giving feedback to the batsman about how he's played the shot, what he might need to do to improve. So that would be one very obvious example, would be if information comes from the coach. Similarly, information can come from a kind of recording, and in this case it's information about this chap's performance, which is shown up on the scoreboard. Now he's being shown how high he's jumped, but equally it could be how far he's jumped, it could be the time in which he's ran, and so that provides extrinsic feedback about his performance. In this case it's being displayed. We've also got as a possibility, as an example, teammates. Now if you've performed well, it means in this case it's some footballers here. One would imagine that one of the footballers has scored a goal and he's being congratulated by his teammates. So if you perform well, your teammates let you know, in this case with some kind of celebration. And similarly, another example could be you get information about your performance from the crowd. Again, in this case, footballers cheering, possibly because one of their players has scored a goal. So let's just recap on that. Extrinsic feedback is feedback about the performance which comes from outside of the performer. We need to make sure we can give examples. Coach is an obvious one. Information displayed about the performance is another one. The crowd and teammates are also good examples of extrinsic feedback.